big happened last week, and it happened mostly to the S&P. So I'm going to walk through how I'm going to trade the S&P tomorrow and likely throughout the week. And this would include SPY, SPX, and of course ES and even MES futures. So think about the 4 ways in which we can trade the S&P. Pick your favorite. But the touchstone for all the setups is going to be the nearly 24-hour-a-day traded ES futures. This is not a matter of right or wrong symbol. This is a matter of how much complete data can we get so that at 9:30 we have a running start in terms of indicator reading and price action. And the ES is going to give us that, and then we can map that out to SPY puts or calls or SPX puts or calls. So let's get to it. What you have here are 3 time frames. And this is really important, gang, to the way in which I process where the opportunities are. 5-minute is day trades. The 1 hour are my short-term swings. The daily are my longer-term swings. So time horizon. You want to be in the trade for today, which I love, Do I want to be in the trade for about 1 to 3 days, or do I want to be in the trade for about 2 to 10, right? Just on average in terms of time horizon. Time frame is going to dictate time horizon. All right. Now, the structure of each time frame is independent to itself. So if someone says, Rog, I'm looking for a buy in the S&P and I'm okay with overnight exposure, great. The 1 hour is going to be where we want to focus because the structure on the 1 hour is currently green, and that opens up opportunities to buy in the daily price movement range zone in the S&P. Right? Now, in a green zone, you can see echoes of that back in here. In a green zone, in a green trend, it's long only, right? Now, if you say, Rog, I think the S&P may be overreaching, right? The S&P might be at a level where when I look at previous resistance on a daily time frame, and we've got resistance in here, we know we've had levels as we close in on 4,400. Right? We've had levels as we close in on 4,400 that have been resistance. And I'm concerned that with Powell speaking, and we have 2 Powell engagements coming up, one on Wednesday, the other on Thursday. So I'm concerned with Powell, we might pull back a little bit, little Powell pullback. How would I set that up? There's 2 ways to do it. Find in the morning if the 5-minute is in a neutral trend. And if it is in a neutral trend like it is right now, awesome. We can fade. We can short, we can buy puts in the red zone and take advantage of short-term today trades. Yeah. If you're thinking of something a little bit more overnight, okay, this is going to be a little bit different. We wait for a slightly higher high. It's almost like a rope-a-dope, right? When I see price get up into the yellow zone, the gold zone of the daily price movement range. When I see price get up into that level. And if we can get price into that level, and the other thing I'd like to see is the daily price movement range plus the slow stochastic. So if I can get the DPMR plus the slow stow, that's going to be exactly where I'd like to see follow through to the downside, but from that level, right? As many short sellers will say, where do I want to short? From higher. Right? I want to see the market go higher into resistance, much like a ball hitting the ceiling, and then boom, we want to take advantage of that move. So let's try to wait for that move and take advantage of short from higher or long puts from higher. So you might say, okay, Rog, how does this map to the SPY? Right? This is the ETF alternative of the S&P. Same idea, right? Same thing. Notice I've got the hourly price movement ranges mapped out here. I've got my daily price movement ranges mapped out here, right? Same thing. If I want to be a buyer of the SPY, long calls, 1 hour chart. If I'm looking at being a little bit more nimble, maybe long calls or long puts, 5-minute today trading, perfect. If I'm being a little bit more bearish, the gold zone on the SPY. All right. So then the next question is, okay, Rog, what about the SPX? Show the SPX some love. Is this something you could do here? Absolutely. Let's go back and build this out. So once again, the 5-minute SPX could give me today trades. If you want to be a today trader, on the SPX. And you might say, Rog, how did this work today? I'm looking at the SPX. What did volatility levels do today in the SPX, right? This is resistance. This is support. So anytime we're neutral or green, I want to focus on support and I want to focus on getting long calls, or as many SPX traders want to take advantage of, anytime I can buy calls, the question is there also and or an opportunity to sell puts? Because the timing is ideal for both long call or long or selling puts. All right. So then the next question is, when we go neutral, right? It's long call, long put. The slow stochastic is going to be the tie break. So when I go yellow neutral, the closer I get to the green zone, that would be a buy. When I get up into the red zone, resistance, resistance. If my slow stochastic is up near the high, right? That's where I can get long puts or sell calls, right? That's the 5-minute. So up here, this would be long puts in the red zone, right? And or sell calls, right? It's the same timing for both or either, same thing. All right, then it moves to the 60-minute. The 60-minute is long call or sell premium on puts only, right? And I want to do so in the gray zone of the daily price movement range. So if I get a pullback, that's something I can do. So for those of you wondering, all right, Rog, how would that work in the context of the green? Anytime price is in the gray, right? Anytime price pulls back into the gray, that's the support zone, and the underlying structure of the 1 hour is green. And by the way, look how important it is to think about the structure for each time frame, right? When we were neutral, focus on long calls when we have green candles. So this is all color combination, gang. It's like dressing yourself properly. If you're yellow, right, like this, and the green and the candles are green, go long, because the candles are bullish. Green candles are bullish. A yellow multi-trend is neutral. So green and yellow, I know. We're not color combining here. We're just saying what kind of position would we take? And I'm going to get long calls or I'm going to sell puts. Okay. Once we're green, well, the grab candles are going to be green. So green plus green is long calls. If I started thinking, oh, well, the S&P is overextended and I'm going to short, this is a mismatch. I cannot use the yellow zone with green candles. It doesn't make any sense in a green structure. So you might think, okay, Rog, so you're just saying follow the structure. Yes, please, gang. You know, it's like tubing, right? Just let the river carry you, or surfing, right? I'm not doing anything. The wave's bringing me to shore. However, when we get the SPX out to the daily, so remember, we already talked about the 5-minute plan. Here is the SPX in the 1 hour. How about the daily? The daily is where, with a slightly longer time horizon, I can focus on this gold area, overbought slow stochastic, right? So daily price movement range, gold area, plus the slow stow being overbought. Now, in a neutral, non-trending environment where the preceding trend was down, hey gang, now it's going to start making some sense that if price can get up into this area, we can think about a short. Now, somebody might say, Rog, but we've been moving straight up, right, on the SPX. And this is absolutely true. We've been moving straight up on the SPX. And, you know, you can see where we've hit the yellow gold, and then we can see where, you know, each one of these, I mean, almost every single day, we've been from one end of the ranges to the next, right? Almost every single day, we've been pushing both the support and the resistance of volatility. So it's not as if the ranges are inaccurate. They're doing great. This is where it's up to us to get the timing. So when you have these zones already on your chart, now it's a matter of timing. Is this going to be the best way to take advantage of these kinds of moves? No, it's going to be much better on the 1 hour. Why? Because on the daily, I'm still dealing with bearishness. You might say, Rog, we'd missed the trades. No, not at all. If we kept more of a nimble 1 hour and stuck with the uptrends, if you're looking to buy, there you go. Right? There you go. That's where, again, I know this, if this is the first time you're watching me explain this, it can be a little difficult, right? I get that. But once we start seeing the color mismatches, I'm not super keen on a gap up through the 200 and a green grab. I mean, do I want to short that? I'm not so excited about that. Here's another day. We're trading above the previous session close. We have a gap up. Do I really want to short that? Right? So one of the easiest ways to ask yourself on any given day whether or not you want to be a short seller. This is amazing, gang. And if this is the only thing you get from this video, fantastic. It will be a needle mover. PSC, previous session close. If we're above it, keep mostly a bullish bias on any of your trading for that day. And if we're below it, keep more of a bearish type opinion about follow through. So when we see a gap up and we're trading above the previous session close, gosh, look for a long position. So you might say, okay, Rog, what about today? As long as we're trading above the previous session close, it makes more sense to be a buyer. And if we're trading above the previous session close and it makes more sense to be a buyer, the 1 hour, that's your ticket. Green structure, go for it, right? Even this morning with the SPX, green structure. And that previous session close will help also with that directional bias. Gang, direction is everything, right? Whether you're selling premium or buying it, direction is everything. So here's a really good breakdown with the tools that I use every day on the ES and the SPY, also applied to the SPX. One bonus thing before we go, XLF. If we want to see the S&P outperform, we need to see the XLF continue to move higher. It's trying, it's not there yet in terms of a convincing move into the bullish hemisphere. But if we're looking for the S&P to really put on the afterburners, let's look for more participation from XLF. XLK is already in fuego. If XLF kicks into gear, S&P is going to continue its move higher, and it will likely outperform. All right, hope that's helpful. Leave a comment below, leave a question below, whether it's a question about the tools, the indicators, the setups. Let me know. I'm rooting for you. This next 6-7 weeks, gang, should be a really good one for us. We've got some much more clear messaging from the Federal Reserve. Things are looking more dovish for 2024, and we've got Powell tomorrow and Thursday. So we're getting a big amount of follow through from the man himself after last week's jolts, FOMC meeting, and non-farm. All right, gang, I'll see you in the next update.